I was taking German at school, and I love German because my grandfather's family came from Germany. And so I was just looking for some kind of weird word, and I thought that symbolized what I wanted to represent with my music. I wanted to be about the less fortunate, maybe people that are a little different, and show what they can really do.
That's Moncton actor, musician, and former child gospel singer Jason Betts. And I'm Leora Kornfeld, and the word that Jason is talking about is ZWERG, German for dwarf, and also the name under which Jason records his ponderous piano songs, which one writer likened to Ben Folds on a sugar crash. Later on this edition of Radiosonic, I'll talk with 20-year-old Jason Betts about his ZWERGy world, and we'll hear music from both of his independently released CDs. And I'm going to be on assignment for part of this show, Anna Maria Tremonti style, if you caught that reference.
What do you mean? I was just saying how great it is that the two of us are so
reunited, and it feels so good. But the key to a wonderful relationship is don't be together long enough to actually have to become the Bickersons. Mm-hmm. So, that's my battle cry for now. I'm going to be off, and you'll hear me later in the show talking with the multi-talented and ever so young, he's so young, a 20-year-old actor, musician. He was a child gospel singer in Moncton. His name is Jason Betts, and he will be our featured performer in the Piano Lounge a bit later on tonight's show.
ZWERG.
ZWERG. Or if we pronounced it properly with the right German accent, we'd probably say...
ZWERG?
ZWERG.
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 Okay.
No, the W would be more V-ish.
Z. Yeah,
try it one more time.
ZWERG.
ZWERG. Thank you.
Together, except that she's on assignment. I mean, she has to do some other kind of work right now, and then she'll be back to talk. And she's going to be talking to that, the person behind the fabulous piano stylings of ZWERG later on when we get into our piano lounge, which will be after the news, which is coming up. We'll see if she turns up. But she has to she'll be talking to ZWERG later on when we get into our piano lounge, and we'll be hearing his words and hearing his music, as well as all sorts of other ivory ticklers as well. After the news, we'll go into our piano lounge, and you can take three guesses what you're going to hear in there. Yep, the ivory stylings of such piano ticklers as, 77-year-old Ruben Gonzalez from Cuba, 20-year-old ZWERG. Leora will be talking to ZWERG as well. Andrea Koziol. Welcome back to Radiosonic. I'm David Wisdom. Yes, Leora Kornfeld is still on assignment, but that assignment is near completion. It's a short one, so she'll be back to talk to maritime pianist ZWERG in a short while, and piano is the key word from now on. And back from assignment, Leora Kornfeld. Woo. Yeah, looking good.
I'm telling you, holiday in Cambodia.
Woo.
Holiday in New Brunswick. I've just rollerbladed all the way to Moncton and back to Vancouver with this late-breaking story for this edition of Radiosonic. How's it been going so far?
Aren't you? Well, everybody was missing you. But here you are, so...
I am here. And I'd like you to make room right now for a maritimer on the prized Radiosonic Piano Lounge bench, because I have a feature on Moncton's multi-talented Jason Betts. Now, those of you in the Moncton area who are listening, it's likely that you're acquainted with the musical legacy of the Betts family, several generations of musicians and singers and choir leaders. For the rest of you, it will be interesting to hear how a little boy who grew up singing gospel music with his mom and dad and brother and sister went on to record 2 independent CDs with the help of the Elevator to Hell, Elevator Through Eric's Trip crowd. Sounds pretty unlikely, doesn't it?
Sure.
Yes, it does. Oh, and let's not forget that Jason Betts, who records under the name ZWERG, which is German for dwarf, is also an actor of some acclaim, having walked away with the Best Actor Award at last year's Atlantic Film Festival, and at the tender age of 19 at the time.
Jason.
I know. I'll talk with Jason about the wonderful world of ZWERG, as well as his latest stint in front of the camera, after this from his first independent release called Sepsis. This is ZWERG and Virus Carriers. And joining us now on the line from Moncton, it's Jason Betts, a.k.a. ZWERG. Hi, Jason.
Hi.
And I have to tell you how charmed I was by the picture of you from I think it's a Moncton newspaper from 1986. A little ZWERG, a little dwarf behind the grand piano performing at the Moncton Music Festival. How old were you there?
Oh, gee, I think I was like 8, 7.
And the caption of that photo read, "Young Moncton musician Jason Betts is dwarfed by the piano." And ZWERG is the German word for dwarf, so is that where the
Yeah.
whole ZWERG thing started?
Not really, but I thought it was pretty funny when I saw that. Like, I looked up in some of my old files and I found that. And my mom was like, "Oh, why? You gotta send that and highlight it."
So where did it start then, the ZWERG dwarf thing?
I was taking German at school, and I love German because my grandfather's family came from Germany. And so I was just looking for some kind of weird word, and I thought that symbolized what I wanted to represent with my music. I wanted to be about the less fortunate, maybe people that are a little different, and show what they can really do.
Hey, were you a small kid? Were you small as a child?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because you were certainly dwarfed by that grand piano, but then again, most 8 or 9-year-olds would be dwarfed by a grand piano.
Yeah, but especially me, I think.
Yeah? But have you grown up now?
Yeah, I'm only about 5'7", though, 122 pounds.
5'7", 122.
Yeah.
You could still beat me up. But even before that Moncton Music Festival, you were a small and mighty musical force because you're part of a family band called the Betts Family. Your mom's a violinist, and your dad has written all those gospel songs, and your grandparents were church organists and choir directors. And I heard that you were asked to sing in churches in Moncton at the tender age of 2.
Yeah.
2?
Yeah. Yep. Well, my dad was a minister of music, so music was just always in the house. And I remember at one time, this is funny, there were people, we had some company over, and I went up to my parents, I guess, and I said, "Well, when are they going to sing for us?" Because that was just regular, anyone that came over, we had a jam session.
Yeah, but Jason, most people at 2 are pretty much at the goo-goo gaga stage. What were you doing then?
I can't remember too much about 2. Wish I could tell you more.
Are there any home videos or anything?
Yeah.
And so when you were...
clothes on in the bathtub and stuff.
No, but I mean of the performances. Forget about the no clothes in the bathtub.
I don't know. I haven't checked, but probably.
Now, do you see any connection between the gospel music that you grew up performing and the music that you're making now as ZWERG?
Well, the music that I'm into now is so different than anything that I've ever played in church. I wanted to do something really kind of strange and expressive and creative that wasn't so traditional, and show that it wasn't necessarily of the devil, if I did that.
Okay, now you're getting onto something here, because you grew up in a very Christian environment, and was there always that thinking that rock music or pop music is the devil's music?
Well, my parents were pretty good about that. They let us listen to most anything we wanted, but the church I went to is a Baptist church, and it's very strict. And they're just letting guitars into it now,
So what kind of music were you allowed to listen to at home when you say that your parents let you listen to just about anything? Give me an example.
Well, I guess I always used to listen to the Bee Gees on the 8-tracks and run around with my training pants on and cheese nips.
Yeah?
Dance.
But no Twisted Sister or anything like that, huh?
No Twisted Sister.
Was that stuff banned from the house?
Well, kind of. My dad, he's a city councilor, and one time Metallica came here, and it got out of hand because there weren't enough cops, so my dad made a thing about, if we're going to have bands like that, we got to have more cops. And so everyone thought all my friends thought he was totally against rock bands, and they took chainsaws to his signs and threatened me and stuff, so...
And you were just a little ZWERG.
Yeah.
So you had to take the bullet for your dad on city council. That's no good.
He took enough bullets, though, so...
But I'm telling you,
one for him.
but between the Betts family, the gospel group, and then your dad on city council, you get no peace.
I guess I'm at peace behind the piano.
Yes, you are. But that's the other thing, because the songs on both of the ZWERG CDs, there seem to be these themes of grief and alienation and, like you said, sort of a rooting for the underdog. And I was wondering if that at all is related to some of the religious beliefs you grew up with.
Oh, yeah. Like, I was kind of always mocked and stuff because I went to church and I used to sing and I used to play the piano, and all the other boys were into sports. And so when I was in grade 5, I quit piano. I quit music altogether. I quit acting, everything, because I just wanted to fit in. And it's sad because I didn't get back into it until high school. And this is funny because Tara from Elevator, her sister Lindsay, it was a good friend of mine in high school, and she was a Tori Amos fanatic. And so she was always looking for someone to play the piano for her to accompany her doing Tori songs in the variety shows. So I kind of got it back into the piano through that, and I realized, wow, the piano can be cool, you know? And it just kind of stuck, and from then on, I guess actually from 96 on, I took it seriously. So the last couple of years I've been playing a lot.
And good timing, because there is a real piano pop rock renaissance going on.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You mentioned Tara from Elevator to Hell, now Elevator Through, and the collaborators, or some of the collaborators on both of your CDs, the first one, Sepsis, and the new one, Two Myopic Mutts, feature people from that gang, the Elevator to Hell, Eric's Trip Gang, Rick White, Julie Dwyron. Now, they would appear to be very unlikely musical collaborators for somebody like you.
Well, that's what made me want to go with them so much, because I wanted to show, like, well, first of all, there's all this talent right in my hometown, so I wanted to, you know, take part in that and collaborate with people, and also to show that, I mean, with music, I don't see where there has to be boundaries. Like, for my next recordings, I'd really like to, I have a friend in Moncton who does house and techno, and I'd like to collaborate with him and do something with that, and some electronic things like keyboards and vintage synths and stuff.
Do you think part of what you're talking about is a reality of a musical community like the one in Moncton, where it's not so much a matter of the style of music that you play as opposed to the fact that you're just playing music and that brings people together in a smaller community?
Yeah, it's really neat because it is smaller and it's easier to, you know, meet people and... like, I think it was Chris Murphy or someone said everyone in Moncton just hangs around in their basement and records. It's kind of true. Like, that's what I do for fun anyway. Just stay home and record with my 4-track.
And I want to go out on a song from your new CD, Two Myopic Mutts, and you wrote this one with your sister Jessica, also a former member of the Betts Family Band, but of course the pictures I have of the family band have you as little kids, so how old is Jessica now?
Jess is 19.
19.
She just turned 19.
And you are
20.
20. Now, how has the whole experience of family musical collaboration evolved for you over the years?
Well, it's really neat because Jess is very much into soul and African American music, and my dad is into like gospel and old time quartet music and that kind of thing. So it's neat. There you go. There's so many different genres of music in the house, and my brother's totally into like thrash music, you know. So it's really neat.
I thought the thrash music wasn't allowed in the house.
Well, there's Christian thrash music, but no, my parents they're not like that. They'll let us listen to whatever. And besides, like we have so many tapes and CDs, they can keep track of everything we have anyway.
Are you telling me you're sneaking some Christian death metal into the house?
Uh-oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. I hope your parents aren't listening. No, but I was just curious about collaborating with your sister, because certainly when you guys were all younger in the family band, there must have been little tiffs and things going on, right?
Actually, we never, I can't remember a time that we ever really fought, the three of us.
Oh,
siblings.
stop it.
I'm serious, we just get along so well.
So sitting down and writing a song, it wasn't like the two of you throwing pieces of paper at each other from across the room? And
No, well, actually, it's neat that you brought this up, because in 96, when I decided I wanted to get back into music, it was going to be a duet, my sister and I, and she was going to sing and I was going to play, but it didn't work out because I would always write the songs for my range, and they weren't in her range, and so I just thought, I kind of did it because I wasn't really comfortable with singing yet, but I thought, hey, I mean, I've got vocal cords, you know, I can just develop this, so I just started singing on my own, and she was always so busy with sports and all kinds of other things that I just, you know, sit home and work at it on my own, and I just ended up developing a solo project.
And she was out there being good at sports.
Yeah.
Ah.
She did all kinds of things, like she was on student council and cheerleading captain and valedictorian. She's always doing those kinds of things, so it's really good too.
You Betts people are overachievers, I tell you. Well, we're going to hear the song that you co-wrote with your sister Jessica, but I also want you to plug your upcoming appearance on CBC Television's, what's it called, Paradise Siding?
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Will that be broadcast nationally on CBC Television?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, Give us the plug.
Yeah, it takes place in the 40s, and it's about these boys who leave their farms and go to work on the railroad tracks in the middle of the woods in New Brunswick. And I leave behind this girl that I'm in love with, and I play the best friend of the lead guy. We just have all these little experiences on the train tracks and working, and we end up going home at the end. And it was so much fun to do, and it required a lot of athletics, which is really great because I had a lot of fun doing we were running all the time and breaking up fights, and I enjoyed getting all sweaty and dirty.
So we should look for this on CBC television sometime in the months to come.
Yeah.
Paradise Siding.
Yep.
We'll look for you. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Sure, thank you.
The multi-talented Jason Betts, a.k.a. ZWERG, in Moncton. From the album Two Myopic Mutts. Not 1, 2, but 2, as in 2. You know, what you put in an envelope. 2 Myopic Mutts. ZWERG, who is Jason Betts. A song called Happens All the Time that Jason co-wrote with sister Jessica. Now, in Moncton, the ZWERG CDs, well, this one and the other one, Sepsis, can be found at most record stores, including Sam's and the Urban Sound Exchange, or you can order the ZWERG CDs via mail at ZWERG, Z-W-E-R-G, care of 64, is it 64 Oak Moor Terrace? I'll have to double-check this. Moncton, New Brunswick, E1G1J5, or if you're emailing, you can write to Rolene, R-O-L-E-N-E, at nbnet.nb.ca. Rolene at nbnet.nb.ca. Rolene is Jason's mom. Isn't that kind of cute?
Rolene
Betts.
You don't do your daddy good.
Yeah. And if any of that was too much information, just contact info@radiosonic.com, or you can contact us at Post Office Box 4600 in Vancouver. We will pass the information on to you. And it is Radiosonic right here on, as you found out last night with all those classic rock covers.
Classics.
Yeah. You've been driving all night, your hands wet on the wheel. And we have more piano music now from a Toronto lad who has been quite an inspiration to not only Jason Betts in Moncton, but I bet you piano players.
Playing piano players. That's what we're doing tonight on Radiosonic. And we'll give him one last kick at the can because he's our featured performer tonight. And then we'll get on with some other stuff. Here he is one more time, ZWERG. The last tune you'll hear tonight from ZWERG. Jason Betts from New Brunswick, and a tune called On to Archenland there. Now, from the latest, the second CD by him. It's called, as Leora once told you already, Two Myopic Mutts, which is, short-sighted shelties, short-sighted dogs.